Very good morning, students. I am Adesh with my subject Accountancy. I hope you all are fine at your home. Student, in last class we discussed the trial balance and we solved the question related to the trial balance also. So there we learned the different terms, which are the terms will comes in the debit and the credit side as per the given information. So students, today also we will solve problems or the question related to the trial balance, but there will be some different transactions and the informations will be there in the question. So how we will solve if this type of problem comes in front of us? So the students, for these we have to be careful before solving the question, because there are some minor points are there on which we have to focus. Okay, if we are not focusing on these points, so then the error can be there in the solution, or mistake can be there in the solution. Okay, so student, I have written already a question. So now this question we are going to solve out. So before solve this question, we have to read each and every information are given in the question. Okay, students, let's see. Question first, I have written as a question number also, because today we are going to solve two questions we will solve. So that's why according to the sequence we can see the question as well as the solution. So student, now the question one, from the following balances extracted from the ledger of Sri Narugopal, prepare trial balance as on 31st March 2019. There is Sri Narugopal who prepare his ledger, and from those ledgers he take balances in a particular format. But after these balances we have required to prepare trial balance. They are asking the trial balance when, as on 31st March 2019. We can see the different accounts are there and their balances also, and in the left side as well as in the right side. So it doesn't mean left side is a debit side and right side is a credit side. Okay, student, so all the transactions are mixed up. Some transactions are written on the left side and some are on the right side. Okay, so due to the left and the right side, we will not classify these transactions as a debit or as a credit. First thing I want to tell you about the question. Okay, first we have need to understand the question, what is the question and actually what the question is given. So their capital balance is 75 lakh, plants 15 lakh, cash in hand 2500, commission received 1 lakh 75,000, discount, that is debit balance 55,000, purchases returned 50,000, interest received 30,000. So student, according to these transactions we have to confirm which are the assets, liabilities, expenses and incomes. So here interest received, repairing charges 1,25,000, general expenses 3 lakh of rupees, wages 5 lakh, furnitures 1 lakh 20, sales return 90,000, loan advance. Here is this is the term as a loan advance. If there is any term related to the loans and advance, so it means that type of transaction or this type of thing say कि this is the loan given to other. It means business has given loan to the outsider, means business ने लोन नहीं लिया, यहाँ पर business ने लोन दिया है. तो यहाँ पर डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट में डिफरेंस आ जाएगा. When the business is receiving loan from the outsider, so then that will be credit. And if a business is giving loan to the outsider, so then that will be a debit. So loan advance, that means the loan is given to the outsider from the business. Now the office salaries 6,25,000, building 7,50,000, stock on 1st April 2018, that is opening stock 12,50,000, cash at bank 5,75,000, rate tax and insurance 30,000, discount credit. In this we have seen that discount debit, and there we are seeing the discount credit. So that means, students, there are two type of discount, which is, if it is in debit side, so it means discount is allowed by the business. And if there is discount in credit side, so that means discount received by the business from the outsider. Okay, so we will not take a balances, we will not do the balances of in debit and the credit side. In which side the balances discount is given, so only then, only that side we will write that balance. ओके, अगर यहाँ पर ये डेबिट बैलेंस है, तो दैट मीन्स वी विल राइट दिस बैलेंस इन डेबिट साइड, एंड इफ इट इज क्रेडिट साइड, सो देन दिस बैलेंस विल शो इन अ क्रेडिट साइड. दैट इज द मेन थिंग, okay, which we have to understand from this question. Sundry creditors 2,50,000, sales 62,50,000, book debts means debtors. Okay, for those customers to whom we sold goods on credit, that is 15 lakh. Rent 62,500, only rent is written, we don't know this is received or paid. So when only this type of expenses or rent is written there, so then it will considered as a expenses, means it is paid by the business. Okay, this is the expenses for business, so that's why all expenses are debit, so it means this rent will be debit. Next one is purchases 48 lakh, carriage and freight, this is the expenses. 75,000, delivery van, it is a assets for the business. 5 lakh of rupees, traveling expenses 50,000, and drawing 6 lakh of rupees. So now student, after read this question, we are going to solve the problem, or we are going to prepare the trial balance. So student, already I have prepared the format of trial balance, so now we have to do the posting in this side. So basically here the solution number 1, trial balance as on 31st March 2019, on which date they are asking to prepare the trial balance, so that date we have to mention here. No need to prepare the date column separately, okay, because trial balance is prepared on a specific date, or we can say at the end of the year. So now student, one by one all accounts balances we will show in debit side if they are related to debit, and credit side if they are related to credit. So student, there is capital account 75 lakh, so capital is credit. So capital account, that is 75 lakh, we will show in a credit side. Now second is, that is plant 15 lakh, so plant we will show in a debit side. 15 lakh. Next one, after plant, cash in hand, this is also debit balance, it is assets, so cash in hand 2,500. And next one is commission received, this is income for the business, so then it will credit 1,75,000. So commission received 1,75,000 in credit side, because it is income, and income always show in credit side. Next is discount received 55,000, it will be a debit balance. discount. The amount is 55,000. 55,000 in debit side. Next one is purchases return. Purchase return 50,000. So purchases returns are credit balance. So we will show the purchases return in credit side, that is 50,000 of rupees. Okay. Next one is interest received. It is income of rupees 30,000. So it will show in credit side. Interest received 30,000. It is income for the business. And next one is repairing charges. It is expenses. If it is expenses, so debit side 1,25,000. So now repairing charges 1,25,000 will show in debit side. Next one is after repairing charges, general expenses 3 lakh of rupees and wages 5 lakh. Those are the expenses and it will show in a debit side. So general expenses and next one was wages. The amount was 5 lakh and 3 lakh and 5 lakh. So general expenses will 3 lakh and wages were 5 lakh. Okay. So now student, next one is furnitures. These are the assets for the business for 1,20,000. So that's why furniture will come in debit side. Furnitures, that is 1,25,000. It will show in debit side. Next one is sales return. Students, is sales is revenue and that is comes in the credit side. So now sales return is loss for the business. So that's why the loss will comes in the debit side. So sales return will show in a debit side 90,000. Sales return 90,000. After this, loan advanced. It means this is the loan which is given to the others of rupees 6 lakh. So it will show in a debit side because this is the loan which is given. Loan advance 6 lakh of rupees. Next one, office salaries expenses 6,25,000. So it is debit side. Office salary 6,25,000. So it will show in debit side. After this, next one is building 7,50,000 debit balance. So building 7,50,000. It will come in debit side. Now the students, next one is opening stock, or we can say opening stock, or we can say the stock as on 1st April 2018. Okay, stock on 1st April 2018 12,50,000 debit balance 12,50,000. And after this, the next one is cash at bank. It is assets, so it will show in debit side cash at bank. Debit side, the amount is 5,75,000. 5,75,000. Next one is rates, taxes, and insurance. These are the expenses for business. So students, rates, taxes, and insurance, that is 30,000, will also show in the debit side. Okay, so now the 30,000 will show in debit side, and after this, next one is discount credit, 45,000. Discount we will show on credit side, that is 45,000. Next one is sundry creditors. This is the liability for the business, 2,50,000. So it will show in the credit side, sundry creditors, 2,50,000. Next one is sales. So this will come also in credit side because it is a revenue for the business. So sales 62,50,000. 62,50,000. After this, book debts 15 lakh rupees. Book debt is debtor. So it will show in a debit side. So book debts 15 lakh rupees show in the debit side. And next one is rent expenses, that is 62,500. Rent 62,500. And next one is purchases 48,000. expenses है business के लिए, so that will come in debit side. Purchases 48 lakh of rupees. Okay. Next student, purchase, after purchase there is carriage and freight. Carriage and freight 75,000. So it will show in debit side because it is expenses. Carriage and freight. The amount is 75,000. After this, students, delivery van, so that is of rupees 5 lakh. So it will show in debit side because it is assets. Delivery van, that is of rupees 5 lakh. And student, next one is traveling expenses. So all expenses will comes in debit side. So traveling expenses, the amount is 50,000. So now students, there is drawings. So drawings will be debit side. Okay, so the amount for drawing, that is 6 lakh. So now students, after record all the transaction in debit and credit side in the trial balance, now we have need to do the total of these amounts. Okay, so the total of debit and credit side must be equal. If there is difference in the balances, so then we have done some error. So students, let's see the total. Students, if we're totaling the credit side, So the total is, it is a working note before write the final balance. So we have to do the total of debit and credit side. So if we calculating both sides, so then the credit balance is 1 crore 43 lakh of rupees. Okay, 1 crore 43 lakh of rupees. And if I am totaling the debit sides, so the debit balance is 1 crore 41 lakh 10,000. So now student, there is a balance, there is a difference in the total of debit and credit sides. Now what we have to do, if there is balance, if there is difference in the total of trial balance, so students, if this side total is more than the debit side, so then one account we have to open in the debit side, that is suspense account. Suspense account for the balance amount. So now if we subtracting 1 lakh 1 crore 41 lakh from 1 crore 41 lakh 10,000 from 1 crore 43 lakh, so then 1 crore 43 lakh से subtract करते हैं 1 crore 41 lakh 10,000. So student, there will be a balance, that is 1 lakh 90,000. Okay, so this balance we will show in the suspense account. So 1 lakh 90,000. Now if we totaling both sides, so there will be 1 crore 43 lakh is a total. 1 crore 43 lakh will be the same balance in the trial balance. So students, we have to remember, if there is balance in debit side, so then we have to open a suspense account. Okay, this is the balancing figure. And when the credit side balance is there and capital is not given, so then that will consider as a capital, that balance will consider as a capital. Okay, so now student, let's see the second question, the solution of second question, which is already have written in the. So there, correct the following trial balance, student. Let's see the correct the following trial balance. If I am talking about this question, so here we can see there is a debit balance. These are the debit balance, but some wrong transactions are written in a debit side which are credit. Are you getting my point? Some transactions are recorded in the debit side, those transactions are belong to the credit side. And similarly in the credit balance, some transactions are recorded in credit side which are belonging to the debit side. Okay, so now after all, we have to correct this trial balance, means the correct balance of debit side we have to record in a debit side, and the balances of credit side or account are related to the credit side, those accounts we have to record in a credit side. So student, let's see, first we have need to prepare the format and then we have to record the transaction. Let's see the format, students, I prepared the format of trial balance for the question number 2. So now in this question no date is mentioned, so that's why I leave the space only for date, and I have not mentioned any date because the date is not mentioned in the question, that's why. So now students, from debit and the credit balance, now we have to write these balances in a correct side of the new trial balance, or the correct trial balance we are going to prepare. So now first of all, there students, opening stock, it is a debit balance, so it will show in a debit side. So opening stock, that is 1,02,600. 1,02,600 we will show in debit side. Next one is return outward. Return outward means it means goods we purchase, but now we are returning to the other or to the outsider. So that's why it is a return outward. It is a purchase return. So it will show in a credit side. Return outward 48,000 will show in credit side. Next one is salaries expenses 36,000. Salaries 36,000 it will show in debit side. Next one is creditors 84,000. This is the credit balance. So creditors 84,000 we will show in a credit side. Next one is bank 1,35,000 debit balance because it is assets 1,35,000. Next one is carriage inwards expenses. It is a direct expenses for the business 18,000. So it will show in debit balance carriage inwards 18,000 rupees. Next one is rent received 9,000. It is income for the business and income will show in credit side 9,000. Next one is discount allowed. It is expenses for the business 6,000. So debit discount allowed 6,000 will show in a debit side. Next purchases 3 lakh expenses for the business. It will be as a debit balance 3 lakh of rupees in debit side. Next one bills payable 60,000. It is liability for the business, so it will show in a credit side. That is 60,000. So 60,000 in credit side. Next debtors, if we're taking the balance from the credit side, so debtors it is assets and assets are debit. So debtor will be 45,000 in debit side 45,000. Now carriage outwards, this is indirect expenses. It is outward but it is indirect expenses, and if it is expenses so it will be in debit side 15,000. So carriage outwards 15,000. After this capital 1,65,600. It is credit balance capital 1,65,600. Next one is machinery 54,000. It is assets. Machinery it is assets. It is 54,000. It will show in debit side. And next one is return inwards. It means these are the sales return 9,000 rupees. It will show in a debit side because it is a loss for the business, whatever goods we sold and these are returning. So that's why return inwards of rupees 9,000. Next one is insurance claim received. It is the income for the business. So now 12,000 will show in a credit side. So insurance claim received, that is 12,000. It will show in a credit side. Next one is trade expenses 18,000, so it is a expenses for business, so it will show in a debit side, that is 18,000. And next one is sales, it is income 4,20,000, will credit side, sales 4,20,000. And now the last one is, that is building, it is debit balance 60,000. 60,000 students. Now we need to do the total of both sides, and that balance must be equal. Okay, so let's see the total, and this total must be equal in both sides. Student, if we totaling both side, debit and the credit side, the total will come 7,98,600, and the balance in credit side is also same. So now the old transactions and the we have prepared the correct trial balance from the given question. So student, thank you for today, and this chapter is completed. You have to do it in your fair notebook up to the Sunday, or up to the on Monday you have to check your notebook. Okay, so thank you for today students. Thank you.